everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio and welcome to April. There's going to be a little bit of what's going on at the start of this video because we have started a new month. So if you ordered in March, your catalogs will be ordered tomorrow. We can order them on April 2nd. So it'll take a little bit for them to get here. It may be a tad bit later that you get your, not much, but a little bit later when you get your March thank you gifts, and your catalog will go with that. And then I'm going to do my taxes, and then I will get on to mailing all the other catalogs. So if you are in the latte class, those are going in the mail today. The projects are so cute. I just keep looking at the cards because even though I designed them, I love them. So we have new catalog in April. So here's this. I'm just going to quick show you these in case you have missed any of the tutorials, especially if you're a demonstrator, because if you weren't able to pre-order already, you can on April 2nd. And then along with this, today's card kind of fits with it because I'm in the frame of mind of my Try It class projects. So this video is up. It has these fun little cards here that are fun folds. It's a really easy fun fold. In fact, we may do it, I may do it again on another card that wouldn't be in this class. But this isn't the first project from my Try It class. The paper that I'm using today is similar to this paper. I love all these I don't know what you call them, more the artistic designs. It's a little bit different. I'll show you the paper in a minute. This is more wildflowery, and the one I'm using today is Meandering Meadow, which is an online exclusive. But registration has opened for my Try It class. Go to this video, and you can learn all about it. And then when I don't have a video where I have so many things that I'm going to talk about, I think what I'll do is another fun fold with this same fold. That's not a project for class. That way you can see it again if you're taking it. But if you're taking the Try It class, this card will have its own video again. So we'll walk through it again in the class. But what my Try It class is, I do them every time there's a new catalog. And as the name implies, you get to try it. So we will do 10 projects together. Each will have a video and each will have written instructions in a book form PDF. They're fun folds or templates. And we start with the 10 papers. So 10 new papers and then all new embellishments, all new ribbons, all new dies, folders, punches. So you get to try it, as the name implies, and at the end of it, you not only have 10 great projects, but you have a PDF that you can then go back to and refer and kind of switch up the projects, which is what I'm doing today. Where'd I lay the card? It's here somewhere. But real quick, April rewards at $50. If you use my host code, you get my Create With Us International bundle tutorial. So it's 14 tutorials and it will come to you in early May. If you spend $100, you get one of the embellishments that will be retiring from the giant stash of them that I have. So it will be a mystery one, but it is a current embellishment that will be retiring. If you spend $225, you get the embellishment, the tutorial bundle, and you also will get a ribbon. And then because this catalog that we're using, I'm using stuff from today, retires this month, starting April 9th, there's a huge sale. A couple of the sale items I'm using today because I'm going to try to point some out to you over the next couple days, and then I'll do a catalog walkthrough. But if you order from me the 8th through the 10th, then you're going to get a bonus gift. And you can go to my website and print this out, or if you're on my email list, I will be emailing it again later this week. So that is the current catalog that's about ready to go. And so today's project is April Card Club. So if you're unfamiliar with my card club, it is a subscription service. It's hosted through PayPal subscriptions, but you do not have to have a PayPal account. They just host it for me. So they auto bill you every month. It's the cheapest online thing that I send with product that I do. And so every month, 90% of the months, you get half a package of paper. This month, they're getting Meandering Meadow, which is an online exclusive. Nothing that I've used as the base for the cards is retiring. I wanted you to be able to get more if you wanted to. So it's a really, really pretty pack of paper. I'm going to pull the one out that we're using. If I can find it, I saw it just flip by. That one would work too, but let's see again. You can have another look at them. There we go. I'm going to use this one. So it's a really, really pretty pack of paper, and it works really well with the bundle that I've chosen for this month. So that's the paper that they get. They get a half a pack of that. Then they'll get a full packet of the embellishments, and we are using the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And then they get a full spool of ribbon. So they're getting the pecan pie striped ribbon. That's also an online exclusive. These are in the current catalog. They will carry over into the new. And then in Club, you have the opportunity to add on whatever the bundle is that I'm using. You don't have to get it. You can always substitute something that you have that's similar. But this is an online exclusive, Encircled in Nature. So this is the stamp set. They can add that. And I pay the shipping, handling, and tax. So it's just catalog price for it. They can also add the dies, or they can add the bundle. So here's the dies that come. So you can see it will cut a wreath, and it will cut out the wreath 2 different ways. I'm going to cut the wreath out and leave the center intact, but you can also cut it out and the center fall out. And it's got some pine trees. It's got pine boughs. It's got leaves. And then it has the stuff to do the flowers, to cut those out. Which I have a card already with it. And then you can also add comforting thoughts, which I'm going to use this because I love this stamp set. It's an online exclusive, and I'm afraid it'll kind of get missed. But it's these are the kind of stamp sets that you like to buy before you need them, because it's never any fun to buy one of these when you need them. So today I'm going to use 2 of them, and that's the reason I'm using it on today's card, because it's one of the ones where you want to sing on the outside and then again on the inside. So comforting thoughts, they can also add that. So if you're in Club, you'll get your email with your links fairly soon. So here is a past Club card, and this is kind of what we do. You can do a try it, because you get the PDF with all the fun folds and the templates. So you may be stuck and think, oh, I need to design something. So to be honest, the project I'm going to do started out as a try it class card, and then I kind of changed it. This was a Club card. I think we did it in maybe January, December. It was when we had that paper. So this is no longer available. So I thought, well, when I do try it, I just take an old pattern and I mess with it until I come up with something new. So that's what I did for today's card. So this is how you would get Card Club. We do 3 card designs, and they get stuff to make 2 of each. So they make 6 cards, it has the envelopes, and then everything comes for the card like this. If there are dies that aren't cut it out dies, those come already done for you. So here are the pine tree dies that come in this set, and I want to show you this. This is the 2022-2024 in color textured specialty paper. It was brand new. I'd never even used it. So I think I must have some somewhere that I've opened, but I just found this. So you can see when I do the catalog walkthrough with you in a couple of days. Where's the page? It's right here. This is all the stuff that's retiring. This paper here is number 8. On the 9th, it will be 50% off. It's fabulous paper. You can see it's in colors that are retiring. So Orchid and Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet. But the paper itself has a really great texture to it, as the name implies. It's 12 by 12. You could use a whole sheet of it for a scrapbooking page, especially if when it's half off, because that's a bargain. It's a really good deal. And then I am also going to use, that will be on sale. I don't know why I shut this, because it was on the page. This would be on sale. It's already sold out. So that's kind of what happens with our sale stuff, is people see it's going to be on sale, and they're like, oh, I need to have that before it's gone. So then it sells out. So it was going to be 10% off, but now it's gone. And the cardstock for the in colors and the new core colors, I can't talk, are already sold out. But I am using a pecan pie marker today, and pecan pie was a new color at the beginning of this catalog, and those new colors are in a packet, just the new colors, and they'll be half off starting the 9th. So I just wanted to point those out, so as you start to make your shopping list for the big sale, you kind of know what you want to get. So shall we stamp first? Let's stamp first. So for this particular card, you are in club, pull out the 3 vanilla pieces, and they're always cut much nicer when my husband does it other than when I just do this real quick for the video. So I'm going to stamp my wreath in pecan pie. So I'm just going to get this around. It has this little hole here. I was a little unsure why it had a hole in the wreath. I mean, you always can cover it up, so it wasn't like it was a big deal. But it's designed to put the die on. So if you're in card club and you get the dies, you can do it. If you don't have the dies, you can just cut this out. So I will be using my dies to cut it out, but I want to show you the dies have this little notch. The one that cuts out the inside has a notch as well. So the notch goes right in the center of that hole, and then look, it's not one of the ones where you're gonna have to spin and spin and spin and spin until you figure out where to put it, because that notch just goes right in the center of the little hole and you're good to cut out. So then there are some trees, and I did mine on 1 block, so we're gonna have to do this differently on this one. Let's flip this over. I had a bigger piece of scrap paper a second ago. And I am going to use, and in Card Club, you can always use different colors. You don't have to use the ones I use. I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to ink this up in the Granny Apple. It's a nice spring bright color. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of shaded spruce to kind of tone it down. Because this isn't really a sympathy card. It's a kind of an I'm sorry card. So I don't want it to be too flashy. So I've just added some spruce on top of the Granny Apple. So you always want to start with your lightest color and move to your darkest. And then I'm going to take the Pecan Pie Stampin' Right marker. If you didn't get any new markers so far this year, they were redesigned to this catalog. So if you're used to our tiny little bullet tip, you can see how much bigger the bullet tip is on these. So they've just been redesigned a little bit. I like them a whole lot better. Now I'm just going to take this and I am going to pounce, because if I drag it, it's just going to pick up all that green ink. So I'm just going to get some of the stems. You don't have to get all of them, or stems, the trunks. When they're tiny, they look like a stem. I'm pressing soft because I have the dirty one on the other side of the table. I didn't think this through. I should have moved it to another block. But a lot of my blocks right now have the latte things on them. So I can do that class. So just dab this all on here. And then you're gonna wanna huff on it, so blow some hot air. Remoisten anything that may have dried. I probably could have got these on one. Just press that down on there. Because this is a funny shape, you wanna make sure that it gets everywhere, but it's photopolymer, so you can see that it has. So now you can see that we have 3 colors, and they weren't all markers because I did want some of it to kind of blend together. Now let's do the same thing on this one. Before, when I had them on the one side, I just did them all at once, but I should have either cut my paper the right size, but I was trying to cut my paper so it'd be the size I can give to my husband as we start cutting paper for this camp. And just dab some of that on there. Grab my marker. And again, I'm pouncing because if I drag it, it's going to more pick up the green and just kind of clean it off. The brown won't stay as well. So when you dab it, the pecan pie is mixing with the green. And you know, when you mix a green and a brown, you just kind of get a darker brown. This is why my table's always dirty. But look how fun that is. So it's got the 3 colors and it's really simple to do. Now I am going to cut this one out. And cut this one out with my die cutting machine. This one does not have a die, so we'll have to hand trim that out. So I'll do that as well. All right, so you can see that how this cut this out. And like I said, there's a smaller die that if you do both of them at the same time, it will cut the inside out. So you just have the actual wreath. But I want to stamp some words on this. So let's finish our stamping and then we'll do all the fun folds. If you don't have the die, you could just cut that out the same way I hand trimmed this. This goes more in all the little leaves. And I think on the first one I did as well, a little bit more cutting because, you know, I wasn't filming. So now we're going to take a piece here. It is 3 by 5.5. So let's do our sponging first. So I'm going to take the colors that are going to match our paper. This is the piece of paper that I'm using, and the first time I did the card, I just put this on here. That was too vanilla. So I just wanted to kind of make these so they match the cardstock a little bit. So let's go with some petal pink, because that's what's on here. It's got a little bit of pecan in it. It's got a little bit of lemon lolly. You can kind of pick whichever colors you want. And make sure this is over to that side when I do it, because that's where it's going to get covered up. So let's just dab this on here, and then ever so slightly, I'm going to put some of this on here. And you can see on here that it's splotchy, so don't worry if it's splotchy. We're just recreating kind of the same look that this has. And we don't need a whole lot of the petal pink, just a little bit. We don't need a whole lot of any of one color. And then just so these now aren't exactly vanilla compared to everything else, I'm just going to add a little bit, but you don't want to cover up all the green, so just do a little bit. But you can see it already has a little a tad bit of color. You don't want a lot on those. And then let's get Balmy Blue. And I'm kind of just taking the edge of this and tapping. And it just kind of fills it in. This one I'm going to fill in more, because this, you can see the petal pink is the clouds and the Balmy Blue is the sky. And then do the same thing over here. So this is going to be the inside of our card. And then I'm just going to clean my brush off and kind of give a little bit of Balmy Blue to the outside of that. You don't have to do a lot. And yes, my table's going to have to be cleaned up after this card. Now I'm going to grab my Shaded Spruce and my words from the Comforting Thoughts. So this one says, thinking of you, praying for you, and hoping with you. So that's going to be on the front of our card. And then this one says, I wish I could make it better. So there's lots of occasions that you might need a card like this. Now we have to put this together. So first we're going to do our little fun folds. Remember, I used the card from Club a couple months ago as my inspiration, but I like to change it, and that's what I do with Try It, is I just kind of start scoring and folding and flipping and gluing and seeing what we can come up with that might be a little bit different than what I've done in the past or that other people have done. I do like to scour the internet sometimes and look for patterns, but then I try to switch them up. They're not all exactly the same. So make sure you have your scoring blade. I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to score it at 3, which is exactly how our card was done in December or January, whatever month that was. And then I'm going to flip it around, partly because I don't like to use my arm on my trimmer. And I'm going to do it at 1. So score at 1. And then this is different than the other card. And then 1.5. So now we have this all scored. Now let's take your piece of paper. You can use a different piece of paper than what I chose. I just liked this one. I thought it kept it a little bit less bright and cheery because there weren't as many flowers on it as some of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this whole thing be 5.5. We are going to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to 5.25. Make sure I don't cut all my paper. So we have a strip here to use. Now this all needs to be just a squish less than. Like we know we just scored at 3, so we need a squish less than 3. So about 1/8 of an inch less. And then we scored at 1 and 1.5. So I'm going to do my 1. So it's about 1/8 of an inch less than 1. And then we need, we did it at a 1.5, so now I need 1/2. And again, a squish last. And if these are too big, I'll just trim them down when I put it on there. And then we have this piece here that's going to go on the inside. So we're going to use that whole bit of 6x6 paper. And that's kind of why the Try It class didn't get this card, because I like to give you lots of pieces of paper, and this really just needed one. And I want you to see lots of them when we do a Try It class card. I like to, if I could get all the pieces, never on a 6x6 could I get them, because there's usually 12 designs. But I do like to have one card at least that has the has a piece from every design in a packet. And I usually try to have it be my favorite, which is easier to do when we do the mini catalog, because demonstrators, well, we can pre-order. And if you pre-order right now, and you're not a demonstrator, you can become a demonstrator and put that stuff in your starter kit. But we only get a selection. So I haven't seen all the paper, and two of the papers that I'm pretty sure are going to be my favorite, we haven't been able to order yet. So I've just scored this all so it goes all nice and front and back. Now we just line all these up. So this one, for my card, I wanted it to be the focal point because it has the tree on it. And this side here is very pretty too. So, and it matches our combination of the granny apple and the shaded spruce. Members of my team also get my Try It class. They get all my classes for free. But with Try It, I will mail it to them. The other ones, they get all the videos, so that's kind of fun. I'm going to take this and stick it right in the middle. This is smaller. I opted to make this a little bit smaller because I wanted to use the die cut on it. Then this one goes over here. So if you filled the panels all up, you would need a second sheet of 6x6 in another design or the same design, but I'm going to use those die cuts to fill it up. There we have it. I'm just going to put my adhesive on here for these. If you are in Card Club and you're like, I didn't catch all those measurements, I will send them to you when I send you the instructions. That's a little crooked. I shouldn't have been talking at the same time. Then we have this little one here. And then this one right here. You can do it either way. On the first one, I think I opted for this because it kind of matched that. So on this one, I will do the green because it also matches. And it's going to match better in just a second. Because this is pretty on its own, but we're going to make the inside of this card really pretty. If you're sending a sympathy or I'm sorry, it's nice to have it be beautiful, right? So this is going to require your fine tip glue. I'm just going to add a little bit, and I'll go back and fix it. I don't want to glue my card shut, and I don't want to wait for it. And so now you can see why it's nice to have that little bit of con showing. Because this will fill this in. And then let's take this. I'm going to add this to my wreath as opposed to the back of this because I don't want it to glue to my card. And then you have these three little trees as well. So the die does the larger grouping of trees and then these three little ones. I'm just going to take it because I want to rearrange them a little bit different. I didn't want the big one on the end. So just snip it apart. Now we can have little ones on the end and move the bigger one over to where our bigger trees are. Can you hear the birds? Isn't it nice? Summer is coming. I did earn the Disney trip. Sometime last week, I was bad about checking my all my reports last week because I was busy. So when I checked it on the way to Easter dinner, I saw that I'd earned the Disney trip, which I'm required by law. Not like Stampin' Up! Law, like Big Brother is watching law, to say that less than 1% of demonstrators earn the trip. So it's always nice. And we had till the end of September to do it. So it's always nice to get it taken care of early, right? The Mexico trip is coming up. So we have this. I'm gonna fold this over and hope it doesn't glue itself down. And we have this, and this is going to help our card have a little bit of movement, because I want to use, instead of a belly band, which would kind of be traditional, or this one here when we did it in Card Club, we used some Velcro because I like for them to stay. I don't like this. So for this one, I'm going to switch to my my Seal Plus. I'm going to add some Seal Plus, 2 strips of it right there. And then you're going to take your ribbon, and I am going to put about that much. Make sure this goes through the center and around. That's why I'm using Seal Plus, because it just holds a little bit better. And when you are untying and tying something, you want to make sure it's got a good hold. Then I'm going to take my Seal Plus again. I'm going to go just right over the top of the ribbon. And then let's put this here. I'm going to make sure this is kind of flat. I don't want it to grab it crooked. And then just make sure this rubs down. And then you have your embellishments. So we use lots of embellishments in Card Club because you get new ones every month. So there's no sense in trying to save them. I'm never quite sure why card makers save their embellishments. I mean, sometimes you know that you may have your very favorite pack ever and you don't want those to run out, but there's lots of embellishments and there's always pretty new ones coming out. So use them up. They look prettier on the card. So I will say most of the time we use 5 to 7, but again, because this is a sympathy card, I opted to keep it a little bit more muted like this. So you just pull this. These aren't quite dry in here because I didn't want to add enough glue, so I stuck it together. Isn't the inside of the card pretty? It's nice and peaceful. So you'll close your card like this, and then to keep it shut when you send it to people, you're just going to do a really loose knot, not a bow. And if you could do a bow if you want to do a bow. I tried to keep this so you could have it in your stash, and if it was a guy or a girl, it didn't matter. And age, it's just kind of a timeless classic card. So a knot will go for anybody. So just do it loose so it's easy for them to untie. And so this is going to keep it down. This lifts up a little bit. You can tie it a little bit tighter and it holds it good. Let me show you one that's nice and dry. And this one I did a little bit too much peach. Not peach. We have the new peach pie, which is laying on my table. The petal pink looks better, a little more muted. This one looks like it's a little bit more sunsetty. So we'll just untie this one. And this one I didn't do the inside of the card because it didn't occur to me until after I was tying it all up. Here's the other piece here. I can do it now. Let's just do it with what's on the card. So you can see that a less is more approach for the inside. So if you're interested in my Card Club, you can get the information on my website. It'll be down below this video. It'll be in my next email. You have till the 10th to join, or you have till the 10th if you're in club to add your things. But there we are. We'll put the prettier one on top. They both look good. This one just looks a little bit more sunsetty. So have a great April, and be watching for my sale videos. Those will be coming up. Have a great one. Bye.